Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing good wherever you are and watching me from. So I am Mo and I do car rentals. So on this channel we talk about side hustle car rentals. I rent out my cars to people. I used to have one car that was my personal car, and now today I have 7 cars that I use for the car rental business. Now, today I'm going to be sharing something interesting that happened to me. This car rental business with Turo is something I've been doing for over 3 years, about 4 years now that I've been doing it, and I've had different experiences. I've met so different kinds of people, different personalities and all that. But this week something interesting happened to me. So I had a booking. Now when I do my settings for the trips, I don't ask, I think I asked for 1 hour buffer. So if you're going to book a car from me within an hour, I get it ready and you can pick it up. Now when a guest books my vehicles, right, there's a pickup location and a drop-off location. So you're going to know where to pick the car from, you're going to know where to drop the car back to. It's typically the same location, but sometimes it can be arranged. If you want to pick up somewhere else, or you want me to bring it to you, or have the car delivered to you, or picked up from a different location, those are things that we also can arrange. Now this particular trip was supposed to be picked up from the same location, from one location, and dropped off at the same location. Now when I looked at it, the guest had booked for 1 day. That's another thing with my settings, is that I don't so you have an option to say 2 days minimum or 3 days minimum. You can say how long you want the trip to be for your minimum booking. Now for me, I just left all that open. You can book for a few hours, you can book for 1 day, whatever makes you happy works for me. Now the reason is that sometimes all these people that book for 1 day, they end up extending. They could extend the trip. I've had someone book for 1 day and ended up extending by about 3 weeks. And sometimes these same people that book for 1 day, they can drive really long miles. So my vehicles are typically 200 miles a day. So someone can come, I've had people come pick up my car and they drive 800 miles within a 24-hour period. So I get reimbursed for all that. So again, I'm just explaining why, in my opinion, I don't do a minimum trip or number of days required for booking. But anyways, back to my story. So this person had booked for 1 day and she was going to pick it up like immediately. So I got the car ready. Now when she arrived, I met her. Sometimes I meet my guests, sometimes I do not. It just depends. But on this particular day, I had met the guest, and then she asked me if I had a spare tire. So I'm like, yeah, I have a spare. All my vehicles are well maintained, and there's a spare in this truck that you're picking up. And she was like, oh, that's good, because the last vehicle she rented, the tire had she had developed the flat tire, and it just didn't work out well, because it really was a discomfort to her, right? The tire had gone bad, she had a flat tire, she had to go through the whole process and all of that. She just wanted to make sure that I had a spare tire. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm sorry for what happened to you in the past, but I hope this is a different experience for you. So she's like, okay, good. She took the car and she left. Now I don't bother my guests, besides from giving you instructions of how to pick up the car or how to return the car when the trip is rounding up. When it's about time for you to return the car, I typically send out instructions of how I want you to return the car, right? Where to put the keys and all of that. Now I sent her instructions and I realized she didn't reply. I gave her some time, and then I followed up with a call to say, hey, what's going on? I see you ended the trip. Are you on your way back? Are you running late? You know, just let me know so I can work with you. And then she goes and says, oh, she's sorry she didn't let me know. She was gonna let me know, but she had booked my car 1 way. And then I'm like, what do you mean 1 way? Because Turo doesn't do 1-way rentals, and I definitely don't do 1-way rentals as well. But she said she had booked my car 1 way for her to get back home. So I'm like, okay, what does that mean? How do I get my vehicle back? And she's like, oh, that Turo is going to tow the vehicle back to me, and but she needed the vehicle to get back home, and now that she's home, she's going to call to your customer support. They are going to tow the car back to me. And I was like, tow the car back to me? Like, did something happen? I mean, is the car drivable? Did something go wrong with the car, or why is it getting towed back to me? And she's like, no, she's sorry. The trip that she was on before, she had developed a flat tire, and she needed another car to get her back home, and the car broke down in my area, so she booked my car so she could get back home. And I was like, at that point I was like, so you're not bringing my vehicle back? She said no, she's not. Now the thing about me is I try not to argue with my guests. I don't get into altercations and all that. So I just said that, okay, thank you for letting me know. And then I called Turo customer care to say, this is what the guest has said. My trip, the trip has ended. She's supposed to bring the vehicle back to me. She hasn't returned it. She said she needed it to get back home. She booked it one way. I mean, what's going on? I know I don't offer one-way services, right? I offer a lot of services, but one way isn't part of it, or of the services I offer. And she had booked for one day. So the trip has ended. She hasn't returned the vehicle to me. What's going on? Now, to cut the long story short, what happened was that the car that she had rented before, she was on a very long trip. Unfortunately, she had she got a flat tire. Customer support Turo roadside was on the way to assist her, but she couldn't wait, so she booked my car, which was around where the initial trip had ended. She booked my car, picked up my car, and drove it back home. Now her home is 7 hours away from where she picked up my car, so now my car had to be towed back to me from several states away. Now think about it. You booked my car for one day. I have other trips lined up, but now you're not returning my car when you're supposed to return it to me, which means that impacts my other trips, right? Which means no revenue for me from those trips. So that is what this lady had done. Now Turo is very good when issues like that happen. They're very good with helping hosts out. Turo helped me. They towed the vehicle back to me. It took 2 days. So like I said, this impacted other trips that I had. It took 2 days to get the vehicle back to me. But another good thing about Turo is they will help you. They will reimburse you for the inconvenience, the extra drive, and the improper return. And there's a bunch of fees that they charge the guests just to try to compensate the host for the inconvenience and all that. But yeah, my vehicle was towed back to me. Like I said, it took 2 days. It was good. It was drivable. She just needed something to get home, and she decided to take matters into her own hands. But yeah, that was what happened. It was interesting. This is not something that I could have prevented, really, because if you book my car, you rent a car from me, I have no control on where you drive it to. That's not something that I can control. That's not something that Turo can control. So once in a while you will get some guests that have ulterior motives, and really there's nothing you can do about those. But in this scenario, my vehicle was brought back to me. Turo would always reimburse you for all those things, and I definitely give her a 1-star rating, just to inform other guests, to keep them aware that if you're going to rent to this person, be careful. This is what she has done to me in the past. So, but yeah, part of the hazards, or the things, the interesting things that happen when you're in this line of business. But that's about it for today. Thank you for watching my video, and see you in my next video. Have a good one.